Welcome, Sharon.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. So I guess first, let's talk about breastfeeding. I know STPH is a huge proponent of breastfeeding. It's what's encouraged at the hospital now. So I guess just talk a little bit about that and why it's so important.
Okay, so breastfeeding has numerous benefits for babies and for moms as well. And we're seeing an increase in breastfeeding rates. We want to continue to see this increase in breastfeeding rates. And we want to help support these moms and give them the information that they need, the correct information. There's a lot of misinformation. For babies, breastfeeding, the breast milk, there's nothing better. No matter what the formula companies say, they are not anywhere close to breast milk. So breast milk for babies is made of live cells. It's easier to digest. It contains all of the nutrients that they need. It helps to fight off things like ear infections and respiratory illnesses and diarrhea and so many other things that come up as children are, exposed to other children. So, and the composition of breast milk will adapt to meet a baby's needs. So if a baby is sick, that breast milk will change to help that baby. As the baby grows and needs different nutrients, the breast milk will change to meet those needs. So it's just an amazing thing.
Okay. I guess so. What are some of the things that you mentioned? Y'all do things to help women breastfeed and promote that. What are some of those things that they can do to help make it a little easier?
Okay. So at the Community Wellness Center, we offer breastfeeding classes. So we do a 1-hour class that is open to the public to give them the evidence-based information and to answer any questions that they may have. We have a walk-in clinic if they need some help, some advice, some support. Sometimes it's just about support and just letting someone know that they're not alone and that they can do it. We offer we also offer a breastfeeding support group in where we have pregnant women and we also have breastfeeding moms. So now these breastfeeding moms can talk to these pregnant women and kind of give them some encouragement and let them know, how they deal with certain situations with breastfeeding. And we have a warm line which people can call. We will call them back that day if they have questions. And we have 2 certified lactation counselors on staff right now and a 3rd who has just taken the test. And we intend to continue to add more and more as time goes on. So,
can you talk a little bit about those evidence-based tips? Like, tell me a few of them that y'all might give in a class, or?
Yeah, well, we do talk about the benefits of the breastfeeding, the nutrition benefits for babies, the benefits for moms. And this works in conjunction with St. Tammany Hospital also with what they're doing there, and then we just continue it on at our office. The breast is best is sort of that campaign that we are doing. It gives babies the best health outcome in the end. Creates strong bonds with moms and babies and sense of security that they get from that closeness with the breastfeeding. So,
I guess, can you talk a little bit about the Cofective app and how other people can encourage and support moms while they're trying to breastfeed?
Okay, so the Cofective app is an app that you can get on your phone or your computer, and it Cofective means community and effective, so Cofective. It's a tool for all pregnant women. Everybody who is going to help support them, they call them champions and supporters, grandmothers, grandfathers, husbands, sisters, aunts, uncles, friends, anybody that's going to support this mom. But for this mom, it gives them a tool to go to. There are sheets that show what you want to do as you're having your birth and after your birth that you can fill out and you can bring to the hospital. So here's what I want to do, and here's what I want to have available when I have my baby. It gives them tips about the breastfeeding. We kind of have, this sort of goes along with it. This is something that we have at both the OB offices and at our office and at the hospital. It kind of goes through all of this strengthening your bond, strong starts together, the support that you should get from that, what they call champion, who is the person who is in that room with you when you're having that baby. And then after you go home, you may be feeling frustrated, you're tired, and things may not be working perfectly. So getting your champions to also look at this Covective app and to kind of learn this along with you will help them to do what I call be your rah-rah person.
Okay.
That's that person to help you say, you can do it, you can do this,
Right.
you can do that. And sometimes you just need to hear you can do it.
Okay. Can you go into a little bit of the importance of skin to skin and breastfeeding?
So skin to skin is where they delay any of those initial procedures as long as the mom and the baby are both stable.
Mm-hmm.
And what they'll do is they'll take that baby and just wipe that baby off and then immediately put the baby skin to skin with mom. What this does is it will colonize the baby with mom's good bacteria as opposed to everybody else who may be grabbing that baby up and holding them.
Wow.
It's going to help regulate baby's respiration, baby's heart rate, baby's temperature. And it's amazing because if a mother has twins and we're laying skin to skin, each breast will heat or cool according to that baby's temperature.
Wow.
It is an amazing thing. So you get that strong bond. Babies go through these 9 steps after they've been born, and part of one of those steps is to actually to attach and to do their first breastfeeding.
Oh wow, within that quickly?
Within that first hour, they call that the magic hour.
Okay.
So they have an hour of time that they will do the skin to skin and work on that first breastfeeding.
And is this, to me, it seems like something kind of new that is becoming more popular, the skin to skin, that maybe they didn't know was so important, or like why is it becoming such a...
They're starting to realize those benefits that the baby and the mom receive by having that baby so close after birth. Instead of whisking that baby away and doing all these different things I used to do and then wrapping up this baby and handing you this little burrito, you now get this time to bond with this baby. Part of what's happening too is it's helping to promote prolactin in mom to help with that breast milk.
Okay.
So there's just so many benefits to this. It's just a beautiful moment for mom and baby.
And is this something that women can do if they have a C-section as well?
They can. It won't be depending on how they're doing. If they were, it'll all depend on what the C-section was. But
Right.
we'll try to lay them more across this way and give them that time also. It can be delayed. It's okay if a mom has a C-section. When they get her all situated in her room, she can immediately go into skin to skin at that point and still get those benefits.
Okay.
So.
Can you talk a little bit about rooming in and feeding cues and how that can be really important?
Yes,
for
that
breastfeeding?
is important. Crying is the last sign of hunger for a baby. So there are many cues that come before that. When a baby is rooming in, you start to learn those cues. Things like hands to the mouth and the sucking motion that they make and the fidgeting around, and all of those are telling you, hey, I'm getting hungry, I'd like to eat. So moms can learn those while they're in the hospital and kind of learn when the baby is showing those signs. And so they're a little more prepared when they go home.
Okay. Wow, that's interesting because
Yeah.
you would assume that, I'm hungry, I cry
Right.
for a baby. Everybody
Right.
just assumes if they cry, they're probably hungry.
Exactly.
And so that kind of helps them to learn to not wait till they're crying.
Exactly.
Is
Because
that...
it sometimes can be hard when a baby is frantically crying to latch a
Right.
child. But
Okay.
when they are like that, put them into skin to skin. A lot of times that will just kind of calm and soothe that baby. And then you can go ahead and start breastfeeding.
So-
It also, studies have shown that moms actually get more sleep and more rest when the baby's in the room with them because they're doing less worrying about what's going on with my baby. What are they doing with my baby? Is my baby crying? That goes through your head when the baby's not with you.
Gotcha.
So-
Okay. So all of those are benefits that help the baby, but also help with breastfeeding and kind of make the process, which I'm sure can be difficult, a little easier.
Sometimes,
moms.
but that's what we're here for. And
Right.
so when people call, they can actually come in. We can go one-on-one with them and do whatever we need to help them to succeed at breastfeeding.
And now that's what I was going to ask you. Can you kind of talk about why it's important to have certified lactation specialists there to help you?
Yes, there's a lot of misinformation. We hear it all the time. People will come in and say, what I know, this is what I know about breastfeeding. and it's not correct information. So we've been trained. We have a 45-hour class and exam that we have to take in all aspects of breastfeeding, from the physiological to the the emotional to the. So we are prepared to help them in many different ways when they're doing the breastfeeding. If they're having trouble, sometimes, like I said, they just want someone to tell them they're doing a good job. Concerns they have, we can reassure them, yes, the baby's getting enough milk. Yes, things are okay. Yes, that's a good latch. Yes, so we can let them know it is. And if they're having trouble, they teach us tools to try and help to guide them to be able to be successful.
Okay, well, great. Thank you so much. This is a lot of great information about breastfeeding, and hopefully we can encourage more moms to at least try to breastfeed when they have their babies.
Yes.
I'd like to thank Robin and Sharon for being here today and sharing this great information for pre and post birth. This has been Healthy Living, brought to you by St. Tammany Parish Hospital. I'm your host, Amanda Paxton, and we'll see you next time.